Hey, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all of the other episodes, check the link in the description, stop by raprankings.com, or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform. And please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting to help us grow the channel and continue our journey as hip-hop's first and premier extreme podcast. Track 1, Jussa Playa, produced by Count Basie. Brother, 8+.
Flat 9. Dig me, baby.
We're starting with a lot of like and some love off top, you know?
We're starting off hot, and there's not even any, I would say, traditional vocals on here, because this opens up with a sample from what sounds like a documentary about jazz music or playing the piano as this beat fades in. And as I'll have to do a lot tonight, I'm going to have to talk around it style in some cases about the samples. Mm-hmm. Like, I can talk about them, I just can't tell you who it is.
Right.
And yeah, no vocals from Count Basie on this intro. It's just a beat, but it's more than a beat. As someone who kind of understands the idea that you can use a beat to communicate a feeling or an idea, speaking through the music, this one resonates with me. And even though, you know, we can't directly identify samples tonight, pitching up a country rock group, blending it with samples from a comedy album from the 70s and 90s East Coast boom bap in that, and God forgive, you know, the rap acapella he puts in here, making them all kind of work in concert with one another, like the samples are all coming together to perform a song, basically. That transition from, you know, players and hustlers know, and God forbid, you know, that, for example. And then just, you know, on top of everything else, throwing his own musicianship on top of everything. This is the kind of shit that I want. This is what I need. This is what I'm talking about. And it doesn't need lyrics, because between, like, the main vocal chop of that just a player on an old piano, you know, that with the other two samples, you know, kind of utilized to punctuate things, keep it from being just a straight loop. There's more than enough going on here to entertain me. I was saying, like, in that interview to Count Basie, that my friend was, like, singing along to Donuts. Mm-hmm. And I'll sing, rap, whatever you want to call it, along to this as an intro. And on its face, it's like a perfect mission statement and introduction to this musical ride we're about to embark on. Like, in under a minute and a half, no vocals, Count is able to just pack in so much detail, emotion, and since it seems to be the theme of the evening to some extent, that human touch. I mean, this has a genius entry. It's a beat with a genius page.
You know, we talked about before how, you know, if we did if we did instrumental albums and beat tapes, like, Donuts might top the board, because, you know, yeah, there aren't any lyrics there traditionally, but so much is communicated through samples and through sequencing and just through everything else. The emotionality of this album starts from the very needle drop, okay? You talk about that sample, it sounds like it's from a doc, you know, you must learn how to play the piano so that you can see the whole spectrum of the notes that you want to play instead of playing one note at a time. I'm 100% telling you, no cap, I'm choked up from the beginning.
Me too. You're going to hear about this a lot tonight, this emotionality that runs through a lot of these beats.
I just want people to know, a lot has been made of, like, the running bit of, oh, now we just crying. No, we're not just crying tonight. I'm going to explain why we crying, and I think you'll understand, folks. This is why I'm choked up from the beginning, from that sample. You know, Moulz and I, you know, are no longer active professional musicians, but we have a musical history. We've made music. And I get choked up because I hear this sample, and it's funny because, like, what he's trying to impart what he's, telling you learn the piano, you see those spectrum. I never actually learned to play the piano, and I always wanted to, but it reminds me of those early nights when I first started making beats where I did exactly what he said I have to progress past, which is just like pointing and clicking around a piano roll one note at a time in like Fruity Loops, like an FL Studio, and like I'm thinking about those times, but like how much joy that brought me. And it's like you go back to this sample, just a player. What it is, when I hear that, every single word of that is just a player. Literally, just a musician against the world, just a man that loves music.
I take it two ways, because he takes it two ways with the way the samples play out. So like just a player on its face is like what you said. To me, that's just a working class musician. Just a humble player on the piano, not like trying to be, an American icon or anything like that, a pop star. It's just a player on the piano. Like there's a simplicity to it that's very, like blue collar, working class. Mm-hmm. And then, as he gets some of those samples in there from the comedy album, it's taken like a player, and that's why he deserves the award for a famous player.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up, because he's talking about, just a player, like not anybody famous or anything, but like, just like talk about samples speaking to you, because like, we've heard in the info section, kind of his origins and, the fact he's a multi-instrumentalist and like what he does. And so like knowing all that and hearing this, it's like, it's just a man who loves music. I mean, as we say, as Kevin Nash would say, just a guy, but it's like on an old piano. I mean, even that, it's not pristine, it's not luxurious, but it's a piano and it works. And it's a genuine love affair. Like I said, I'm reminded of like when I first started making music and producing, you're not thinking about being famous or worldly anything. It's just the music, just the notes, the sweet sound of music. And I get enveloped in those like early feelings that I had just being in front of, not a literal piano, but just like a piano roll in a digital audio workstation, but just being lost in that world and getting that same joy from just like playing a piano. And like, what's funny is on an old piano, I used the cracked version of like FL Studio 8 from 2008 to 2016. So it was literally an old piano, but like I made it work. It's what I love to use. And, it's great because Count Basie actually knows how to play the piano. He's a real musician.
So on, Worst Case Scenario, for example.
Right. So it's almost like this sample at the top too is almost like a step your game up rapper sort of thing. It's like, I rap, but it's like you got to learn how to play the piano so you can see the whole spectrum, not just on the, but like of music, It's almost like, rapping is just one note at a time. It's like you said, in concert. Everything's in concert with each other, Yes. And listen, we've talked about this before. I'm the chop man. I love me some chops. I love some sample chops, vocal chops, music chops.
Just play it.
I'm bro, come on. Like you talk about singing along. I'm in the car like it's raps, like it's lyrics. Just a player. I probably look crazy in traffic.
The lyrics are just a player on an old piano. Just a player on an old piano. Players and hustlers know, and God forbid if you front on them or try to diss them. Now what you gonna do? Redacted. Just a player. Yeah. On an old piano. Then that loops around 3 more times. Then not me, no Lord, just a player. And then, he was probably born into the game. Now he could help somebody, and that's why he deserved a Lifetime Achievement Award as a famous player.
Now,
on an old piano.
Even that sample. So, like, we talked about how, like, it kind of gives off this, like, humble musician who's just, for the love of music. But that sample is important to me. He's probably born into the game. Now he can help somebody.
No, I took it more like it's coming from, like, the player's ball almost.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, that's valid. I hear it as
context. I have some context about the sample, but again, talk around its style.
Right. We ain't snitching on nobody. We ain't trying to do that. Okay. But like, it's this, it's in the tone of the voice. He's like, now he could help somebody. And that's why he deserved a Lifetime Achievement Award as a famous player. it almost feels like it's perhaps, himself questioning his self-worth and journey as a musician, be like asking himself, what's it all worth? But he provides the answer with this sample. It's like, yeah, he can help someone, not just through his music, but also helping people, passing down musical knowledge. But also it's like, I mean, hey, like, we did the, when you interviewed him back in the day in the info section, that's him passing down knowledge.
Yeah, for sure.
To just like a 19-year-old kid who loves his music, but like you said, he gave really thoughtful answers, despite, being a teenage Moulz who was like inexperienced. But it's like this sample's acknowledging, yes, he is, as a famous player, he's relatively unfamous compared to like, obviously like a Drake or Kendrick or even an MF Doom, who's a frequent collaborator of his, right? But it's like his lifetime dedication to music means he's no less deserving of such an award that a quote famous player would get. It's like that's why he deserved, as a famous player.
The whole layer of this, just a player on the piano. Well, this is all on like hardware. He's actually not on a piano here. He's manipulating a piano sample, if anything. Mm-hmm. So there's that added element of like artifice, but still kind of reminding you like, I have the musical chops and I'm still a player, whether or not I'm on the MP or the SP or on the piano.
Right. Like, I mean,
how deep you want to go with this? I mean, it's just a beat, but it's
well,
not.
It's not. Well, not to me. Not to me.
If you make a beat that has all these different layers to it, and the sample is chopped a certain way, and the things are not just put in there haphazardly to give you this sort of auditory collage, it's there for a reason.
Right.
And it's there to communicate an idea.
Yes. I mean, we're just talking about Doom. I mean, way back in season 0, when we were doing the food review, I was talking about, the way things are layered and how on that album, it reminds me of like, kind of like drifting off to sleep at like 1, 2 in the morning, but the TV's on and you hear noises, but you're kind of unconscious. This is like, it's different. I feel like almost like I'm at the end of my life and my life is flashing before my eyes. And that's what all these different sound bites are. Like these different moments and voices, like the guy at the beginning, the guy at the end talking about like the Lifetime Achievement Award and like, players and hustlers, no, like it's all like, that's how I feel. And so I'm getting emotional. And it's just this balance of like, I feel like he's communicating. At the end of the day, he considers himself just a player of music like those before him and those that'll come after him on an old piano. But at the same time, he does feel a sense of self-worth. It's like, and that's why like all of this that I'm putting into the music, I'm worth something. I'm a humble musician, but at the same time, I've paid my debt to the game,
Right.
Like
and he's reintroducing himself here through a beat before he even starts rapping.
Right.
The rapping doesn't come till the next track.
Yeah. So it's like, I think about personal moments in my life, that's adding to the emotionality, but also like, it's just expertly placed samples and the music is good. The chopped piano is it's moving to me. Okay. It moves me. Gives me saying
his
it moves
ear
the needle.
For samples. Right. He just has a way for finding these samples that seem to communicate an emotion as well. And that seemed to resonate with Snoop Dogg. And we're going to get into his relationship with Snoop Dogg here. So this is the song that I guess Snoop Dogg found Snoop Dogg. And he was on IG Live playing this.
Wow,
and
really?
He shouts out Count Basie. And this led to some things. So let's
Let's
hear Snoop Dogg on Instagram Live playing Jussa Playa by Count Basie.
Sure, here we go.
Shout out to all the players out there. Count Basie, I know you out there somewhere. Real player. I'm playing that shit that you can only hear right here. Y'all wanna hear some reminiscence? born into the game. Now he can help somebody, and that's why he deserves a lifetime achievement award as a player 12. Lifetime achievement award. He deserves this player shit, man.
Bro,
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
musicians loving musicians, you know?
Well,
Like,
it's a real appreciation that Snoop has for Count Basie because they did a record together and it came out as a 12-inch with a B-side, but this is the A-side, Too Much Pressure, featuring Snoop Dogg by Count Basie.
here we go.
Count base about face. Count base about face. Too much pressure. Somebody might not make it today.
So much pressure.
It's too much pressure. Somebody wanna lock me away.
It's too much pressure.
It's too much pressure. Somebody might not make it today.
So much pressure.
It's too much pressure. Somebody wanna lock me away.
It's too much pressure.
Pressure. Pulverizing pressure to the lesson. Nowadays, everybody seem like they be stressing. They used to laugh at us. Now look at how they dressing. Woke up to the usher to deliver my confession. Need a psychiatrist for this type of my profession. It's hard to survive if you alive. It's a blessing. Count 'em, and I can get it done with no discretion, direction, and put the spotlight on my reflection. I'm vexing. No instructions needed. I went undefeated. If you catch a case, my nigga, I hope you beat it. They got a bench warrant for the homie. He been receipted. They gave him an L for the crime, and he depleted.
Off top, 8. It's an 8 off top. The Mel, you choked up off the archival? Yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe. It's too much pressure. Okay, in the world. That's
Well,
some good
there's
music.
more. I mean, we have 10 minutes here on Count Basie talking about how all of that came to be.
Holy man. This is testing the soundboard. I don't know if we've ever had anything in the soundboard this long. Hopefully it don't cut off. We'll
Hopefully.
see. All right. Well,
But this is from the House List podcast. This is not from Southern Vanguard. Another podcast I'm going to shout out. Look, they got a MF Doom interview. They got a Count Basie interview. They're fucking official.
Hey, best of love to him. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
All right,
shout
so-
out Peter from the House List.
Oh,
That's
for
who's
sure.
interviewing Count Basie here.
All right. Here we go.
Well, you never know with that Snoop track too, though. That could float his way. That's
Yeah, well,
not
I
impossible.
mean, we might as well talk about that.
We
You know
should
what
talk
I mean?
about
yeah,
it.
you might as
What
well
a-
talk about
what
that.
an awesome occurrence that was,
Mhm.
and it's a dope song.
Yeah.
And as a side note, that the B side is incredible
Oh,
too.
thank you.
I sing along to that shit all the time.
Oh, wow.
Purchase is necessary.
Yeah, wow. I mean,
love that shit.
You know, the thing about Snoop Dogg, who is, you know, officially at this time, you know, my favorite artist of all time.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that's the reason why, is because there's never been, to me, that I've ever met and I've ever experienced personally with my own self, the realness. You know what I mean? The realness of an artist like a Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? And I'm saying there's a lot of people out there who haven't sold even 1% of the records that Snoop has sold.
Right.
And I walk by them in the club and they act like, you know, and I know they know me. I know that they know who I am.
Right.
And they're introduced to me and act like they've never heard of me, or, you know, that what I've done is not significant. And I've seen them singing along to Doom records and things. So I know that they've definitely heard my voice, and they've definitely even probably sung along to the songs I've produced. But at the same time, they act as if they don't know me. And Snoop Dogg, you know, personally, not his man, not his cousin, not his representatives or whatnot, straight reaches out straight to me,
Yeah, it's crazy.
says he wants to work with me, records with me, and then gives me the master to the song.
Wow. That's amazing. See, I didn't know the story of how it actually.
Nah, that's how it happened. He reached out to me through social media, told me he wanted to work with me. I started sending him some ideas. I sent him an idea that DJ Pocket and I put together. He sent the song back within like 2 hours.
That's
okay,
amazing.
and there was a hole at the end of it, and so I'm thinking like, oh, okay, well, damn, well, maybe he's gonna, do the other verse. So when I called him, he was like, nigga, that's for you. Like, get on that. I'm like, oh, snap. So all this time now, he sent the song to me so fast. So I'm like, well, damn, I gotta, but at that, obviously I had to be a professional. So, I put my professional hat on. I went downstairs and, collected my thoughts and came back upstairs and, hooked the microphone up and handled my business, sent it back. And he was like, okay, he's like, we're going to do some more work together, but this first one is yours,
Oh.
And, nobody. I've been doing this since I was 19 years old. Nobody's been that real. Nobody on any level. Everybody's always what they're going to do with it and this and that and the third. He didn't care about splits. He didn't ask me about anything. He just said, this is all you. Okay?
Right.
So, I don't care.
It's kind of unprecedented.
I don't care about, what lyrics out the gym or beats and Grammys and all of this. I could not. It changed my whole criteria of how I judge an artist, because now at this point, I knew there's not a single artist, especially in hip hop, that can look me in my face and try to front on me at this time, because if Snoop Dogg can contact me himself personally, reach out and work with me, and then bless me because he knows his resources are on one side and my resources are completely on another side.
Right.
And bless me. Come on, man. How am I supposed to sit here and try to act as if somebody else is more important to me in the scope of rap or in the scope of music, period?
Well, that's a great way to frame it, too.
Okay, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying now other people, because they've never had that type of experience, might still be going on who sold more, or who had the best producers, or whose album changed the game, or who anything like that. No, I have a personal, specific. If you were choking one day, if I was choking one day, and Young MC came and gave me the Heimlich maneuver, he'd be my new favorite artist, okay? But until then, Snoop Dogg is my favorite artist and the greatest of all time, period. You know what I mean? Period. And there's not a damn thing that's going to change that.
Well, he's undoubtedly like an American icon. He's an international icon. And the fact that you guys would have this kind of such a casual exchange, and he's just like, here, this is yours. You do whatever you want with it. It's not like he does that like all day long.
I don't know. I don't know if he's done that 60,000 times. Only thing that I know is he's done it for me.
Yeah.
All right. And as a result of that, we put the 12-inch out on Thrash Flow. I sent him copies. Went to fellowship with the man, and it's as if it was as if he was the one sitting on that stoop when I heard More Bounce the Ounce for the first time. I really felt like he was from my neighborhood.
Wow, man.
Just from walking in. I mean, that's a special guy. It's not like he's. People just, Snoop Dogg or what have you. Man, that's a special, special guy. Right. I've never met anybody quite like that before, who's so comfortable in his own skin and so comfortable with others and with people like that. Never, especially on that type of level. Never in my life.
Right.
It was fascinating. It blew my mind. It still continues to blow my mind. And this process has been going on for about 1 full year now. I mean, it started when the Instantly New album came out.
Right.
I put a video out, a little snippet on Instagram, and about 7 p.m. I had like maybe 300 notifications from Instagram. And I was on my way to do a radio interview at WERK or WREK in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? You know what I mean? Is there some kind of what's going on? Because, you know, I've had some situations go on in my life to where, you know, it was some crazy stuff. So I was thinking to myself, like, what's going on?
Right.
And I looked there, and I finally scrolled through the notifications, and I saw, you know, Snoop Dogg has reposted this video, and I mean, for like 3 days, man, it was just. I would clear the likes,
right,
and it would, at the time, it would just be a full another 100. Clear that, be a full another 100. Clear that, be another 400. And that's when I also realized that, you know, like you reach out to certain people on these social media sites who have a lot of followers, and you're thinking, oh man, you know, they blew me off. They didn't see it probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like
inundated nonstop.
Well, you didn't. I mean, when that was the first time when I had gotten so many responses that it was like I couldn't even keep up. I didn't know, you know, who was supporting me. You know, and I'm usually able to see. Excuse me, the support, but I really could not follow the support. And then at that point, at the time, I was doing a thing where I was following everybody back. But that's when I found out that Instagram had a cap at 7,500 people, and I couldn't follow any more people back, you know, because it was just so many followers coming in that it just went crazy. So at that point, I had to change my policy and start just like following certain people who I actually knew, you know what I mean, and things like that, because there was no room to even follow them anymore, you know. So I had to, like, you know, even now, it's like if I see somebody come up and I see a bunch of booty shots or something like that or what have you, and what have you, I'm just, well, you know, I don't know this person.
Right.
You know, I've got to unfollow you or whatnot. And it hurts me every time, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I don't want to be that guy who acts like I'm cooler than somebody else, and, you know, I follow you, you don't follow me, and, you know, playing these games.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much weird innuendo with Instagram too, and
it's just so much weird, you know. And at this point, it's getting to the point where it's like, if I don't actually know you, I haven't met you in the flesh, you know, I don't necessarily know if I just want to just, you know, endorse and say, you know what I mean? Because everything is changing, man. Everything is just switching up, you know. And I can't keep up with it, you know. Right. If I didn't do this for a living, I wouldn't be on social media at all.
Right.
You know, but you know, it's not really an option, and I don't have the team where I could just, you know, do it Mad Lib style, you know. So you just have to just operate. Right. You know, you have to just operate the way that you operate and do the best you can, because, you know, there's the doom. Right now, when you consider it, there's two. The bookends are the doom way on this side and the Snoop Dogg way on that side. You know, and Snoop is completely accessible. Doom is completely unaccessible. And I've kind of tried to learn from both, and kind of, you know, I see the pros and cons to both approaches, but I don't really, you know, I'm still figuring it out because it changes.
Deep AF, my dog.
I mean, that's what he told Snoop. Deep AF, my Snoop Dogg. I mean, high praise for Snoop there from Count Basie.
Deservedly so, though. That's really cool of Snoop to do.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, that was 10 minutes. There's a lot. I had a lot loaded in because Snoop was like, yo, it's yours. And Count Basie went downstairs and was like,
man, did this dude just did this?
He did, because he real. I mean, that was a real... Listening to Count Basie talk, now don't get me wrong, I love my uncles that I already got, but he feels like the uncle I never had. All right, I pop for that. You know, I've said it on the show before. If I didn't have to be on social media, you know, to promote myself for my job, like, I wouldn't be. I feel him. Like, this is a real dude, man. that's a real dude right there.
That Snoop thing just, you know, took him to a different level.
You know? And he was saying, like, he said if I started choking, like he said, if young MC came up and gave him the Heimlich, he would turn to young MC and be like,
"You my favorite new dude."
Yep. I mean, that's like literally what he said. Oh man, yeah. Look, amazing. Okay,
so we're 30 minutes in, and this is a 1.5 minute long instrumental.
Well, you love it, and I like it a lot.
10 minutes of that was, you know, from that interview.
Yeah.
To be fair, so. Yeah, wow. I got nothing else unless you do. There's plenty more to dive into here.
Well, I've spoken my piece on the matter, but yeah, folks, You know, hey man, I connect to it. I feel it.
I really
felt
feel
that.
It. I do.
All right, and I mean, hey, I started out. I'm a sample based. I still feel weird calling my beat maker. I don't feel like I'm a producer, but like, you know, I was sampling. So like hearing these samples, it just brings you back to a place. And I just remember clicking around note at a time, trying to layer chops at like 15 years old. So like, I get emotional. That's all. And yeah, man.
Well, I promise no interview clips we have through the rest of the night are that long. They're more in like the 3 to 4 minute range.
Well, listen, I enjoyed that clip personally. And hey, if they ain't like the clip, I'm gonna tell them this.
Fuck them. That's right.
All right. So yeah, you wanna keep going?
I'm ready.
Hey, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all of the other episodes, check the link in the description, stop by raprankings.com, or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform. And please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting to help us grow the channel and continue our journey as hip-hop's first and premier extreme podcast.